Tonight, NPP bears teeth at the court as it prepares to challenge the conviction of Ashanti Regional Chairman Antwi-Boasiako, who was sentenced to 20 years in prison, as it insists there was no evidence to support the sentence.
There is no justification for the judgment since the judge obviously ignored clear evidence exonerating Wontumi. The New Patriotic Party stands firmly with him. Our legal team has already commenced the necessary steps to challenge his judgment through the appellate process.
We have details of Chairman Wontumi's legal team next line of action in the coming days.
Oh, certainly, once you are aggrieved or dissatisfied by the outcome of the decision of the courts, the onus lie on you to file an appeal at the appellate courts.
We'll also hear from anti-illegal mining campaigners who say the landmark ruling must mark the beginning of a broader crackdown on the real financiers and kingpins behind galamsey.
I would have wished that the judge would have given the maximum sentence of 25 years.
And we hope that other prosecutions are going to take place.
And what does the verdict mean for the NPP? We'll have the latest from the party's high-level meeting as leaders decide their next line of action. This is Top Story. It's brought to you by the kindest courtesy of Telecel Connecting Energies, Holy Insecticide Spray and Coil. Enjoy a holy sleep, Shield Pension Trust into the future with you. My name is Kenneth. Gyasi, when we return from the break, we'll speak to a lawyer, speak to the NPP and the NDC. For more on this, stay tuned.
Yo, Charlie, Telesurface broadband upgrade. Oh, you get up to 40% more data on the same old bundles. Best part, the bundles don't expire.
That's how we like it in the town.
Yeah, from on-cap speeds to fixed line calls and flexible data moves that allows you to move data up to 4 devices. Telecel offers an unmatched band for fixed broadband solutions for every need.
Telecel fixed broadband has got you.
For your home or business, experience the true broadband difference with up to 40% more data on Telesurface broadband at the same price. Move your non-expiry data to up to 4 devices. Get free fixed line calls and more tailored fixed broadband solutions for your home or business. Subscribe at www.telecel.com or download the Telecel Play app or visit a Telecel retail shop today.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Mula Sports. See the all sharp, no long thing. MulaSports.com.gh. Instant win, instant cash out. MulaSports.com.gh. Mula Sports, we run the city. Play, win, cash out. Yes, play and stand the chance to win Mula at MulaSports.com.gh. Enjoy premium soccer action, exciting trips on the aviator plane, and exciting spins on all your favorite virtual games. Mula Sports. More Mula. Bet responsibly. Gambling can be addictive. Not for persons under 18. This advertisement is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana.
Missed passes, bad referee decisions.
Don't let your child's grief suffer a bad match. Ensure a straight win this academic season with curriculum-aligned textbooks and interactive tools from Pegasus Publishing.
From preschool to senior high school, we have the exact game plan your kids need to ace their classes. And because it's World Cup season, you get a massive 20% off every single book. Don't drop points. Call 059-50-10175 or dash to Pegasus Publishing in Accra, Newtown, right opposite the Total Energy Station. Free delivery within Accra when you call. Pegasus Publishing, shaping minds, winning futures.
Palladium Residences in Achimota isn't just an address, it's the home you've truly earned. Secure your place with just a 10% deposit and choose from beautifully designed modern apartments or spacious townhouses built for everyday comfort. This is more than a building. It's a vibrant curated community with a clubhouse, state-of-the-art gym and an on-site hotel, all at ABC Junction, minutes from Achimota Mall. Enjoy city energy whilst retreating to your private sanctuary. Call now to reserve your unit and benefit from limited launch incentives, including priority unit selection. Don't miss the chance to pick the best homes. Book your private site visit today. Call 050-9823-424. Palladium Residences. Live smart, invest better.
Welcome to the program. My name is Kenneth. Gyasi. Tonight, the New Patriotic Party commences the process to fight the conviction and 20-year prison sentence handed to its Ashanti Regional Chairman, Antwi-Boasiako, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi. Well, earlier today, the Accra High Court found Chairman Wontumi guilty on all 6 charges in the Samra Boy illegal mining case and imposed a 120,000 Ghana cedis fine with a 3-year jail term in default of payment. Well, the party insists there was no evidence to support the sentence and says it will immediately challenge the judgment at the Court of Appeal. We'll take you to the courtroom shortly, but first here are excerpts from Erastus Asari Donko's documentary on the illegal mining activities in the Samra Boy forest.
The river revealed possible culprits in the pollution of this national resource. This mining site, captured by our drone, belongs to Akunta Mining Limited, owned by Bernard Antwi-Boasiako, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, the current Ashanti Regional Chairman of the NPP. 2 of their mining operation sites sitting at the edges of the river, with some of their mining leaks and residues feeding directly into the Tano River. The footage of mining along the Tano River from a layman's view shows a clear violation of government's buffer zone policy, which demands the demarcation of a 50-meter buffer zone away from a water body like the Tano. Existing buffer zone bylaws and specifications spelled out by the Forestry Services Division indicates no logging within 50 meters of major streams and 25 meters along smaller streams. That of the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources states that a minimum of 100 meters off watermark should be declared as protected areas. But none of the mining sites discovered by our team along the Tano River respect these laws. Some indigents of Samra Boy told Love News many of these sites belong to Chairman Wontumi's Akunta Mining Limited. But officials of the company will not speak to our news team about the effects of the operations on the environment visible from above. 2 security men wielding pump-action guns approached our team, and after establishing our identity and registering their protest over our drone activities, they left. The Minerals Commission describes such mining activities, polluting water bodies or destroying forests, as an illegality. Barbara Gyasi is board chair.
Nobody provides a license for you to mine in a water body. It doesn't happen in Ghana. So if you are mining in the water body, it's illegal.
But we soon realized that the environmental effects of Akunta Mining's operations was to be the least of our concern. We followed the Tano River to 4 key pollution points. Here, mining was being done directly on the riverbed, with mining residue leading in and out of the Tano River. The pollution of the river Tano comes from different areas along the water terrain, mainly stemming from irresponsible mining. The illegal activities on the Tano River, we learned, is not happening on the blind side of authorities. We were told that a military contingent was sent to the area 2 weeks before our team visited the area, but the miners were given the opportunity to salvage their equipment.
That is the documentary done by my colleague Erastus Asari Donko on the distraction happening in the Samra Boy forest there. And let's come back into the studio, and joining me right now is Fatal Bayaga. He was in court, witnessed all proceedings and the sentencing of Chairman Wontumi, and is joining me here. Fatal, what time did Chairman Wontumi arrive in court? Let's start with that. And what was his demeanor when he walked in the courtroom?
Ken, so Chairman Wontumi arrived at the Accra High Court a few minutes after 7 a.m., dressed in a yellow agbada with blue embroidery, and as it has become a trademark, Ken, he flashed his signature clock it, right? That's what he's been doing almost every time that he comes to court, and you know. And then he also maintained a smile as he walked into the Accra High Court for this particular case to comment.
Interesting. I want you to take us through what transpired after the case was called.
So basically, lead counsel for Chairman Wontumi Samuel Appiah was absent from the courtroom, with Charles Boachi, a member of Wontumi's legal team, holding his brief. So Criminal Court 4, presided over by Justice Kokovite, he informed the court that Mr. Appiah was out of the jurisdiction on a personal engagement. He then prayed to the court, for the defense's motion seeking a referral of constitutional questions relating to sections of the Minerals and Mining Act to the Supreme Court to be adjourned until after Wednesday, July 22, 2026, when the lead counsel for Wontumi was expected to return to the country and move this particular motion.
And what was the judge's response?
Interestingly, the experienced judge, Justice Audrey Kokovite, ruled that the application for an adjournment was untenable. She noted that Samuel Appiah had been present during the previous sitting when the case or the court fixed today's date for judgment, and that all parties, including the defense, had agreed to the date without objection. She added that if the date had been unsuitable, Appiah ought to have informed the court in advance, so the necessary arrangements could have been maybe made rather than traveling outside the country on a personal engagement. The judge therefore dismissed that application for an adjournment. She also went ahead, or she held that Section 99(2)(b) of the Minerals and Mining Act 2006 Act 703 was clear and unambiguous and did not conflict with Article 1911 of the 1992 Constitution. As a result, she ruled that there was no constitutional issue requiring interpretation by the Supreme Court and dismissed the defense's referral application. Justice Kokovite then proceeded to deliver her ruling that lasted more than an hour, concluding that the prosecution had proven all the essential elements of the offenses brought or beyond reasonable doubt. She subsequently sentenced Chairman Wontumi to 20 years imprisonment on each of the 2 counts on which he was convicted in the Akunta mining or illegal mining case. In addition, the court imposed a fine of 10,000 penalty units on each of the counts. Akunta Mining Limited, which was also convicted on 2 counts, was fined 15,000 penalty units on each count.
A very dramatic day in court indeed. Was there any immediate reaction from Chairman Wontumi's legal team after the judgment was delivered?
Interestingly, Charles Boachi, who was holding leave for Appiah, disappeared. I didn't really see him. We couldn't have access to him, but a member of Wontumi's legal team, Enoch Afuakwa, described the basis of the court's decision to convict their client as mind-boggling and unfair. He said the legal team would consult their client on the possibility of filing an appeal. We can listen to him.
It will certainly come out.
But the charges were brought under the Mining Act, right?
Yes, certainly it was brought under the Mining Act. But the Mining Act doesn't talk of assignment. It talks in terms of assignment. The specific legislation that regulates the conduct of land transactions is the Lands Act of 2020. Yes, Act 1036 regulates the conduct of land transactions. So if you want to really understand what assignment means as far as land transactions are concerned, then you have to go to the Lands Act. And clearly the Lands Act talks of assignment to be a written instrument, but we did not see same. And said clearly, once he has been convicted on assignment without mineral rights authorization, it's clearly mind-boggling, and I am not comfortable with the setting.
You describe this as mind-boggling.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling.
To you, it is unfair. But let's talk about the processes of the trial itself. Would you say due process was followed?
I will reserve some for now.
Fatau Bayaga is still with me in the studio. Fatau, another person who drew attention in the court was private legal practitioner Bernardo Redu. What did he tell the court?
Basically, he told the court that Wontumi is a businessman and argued that a lengthy custodial sentence could negatively affect his businesses and leave many employees without jobs. He therefore prayed the court to temper justice with mercy. In fact, he came into the court as a friend of the court. He made this point and he stepped out of the courtroom. He repeated the same thing. We can listen to him.
Because I was of the view that the minimum sentence was okay, because I made a point that getting Wontumi out of the picture, that is incarcerating him, may affect a lot of things, especially his businesses, the number of people he employs and all that. So that was the appeal I was making to the court, that yes, the court has come to the conclusion and convicted Mr. Wontumi for all the offenses. But in terms of the sentences, I mean, the court ought to consider his significance in society, especially the chain of businesses he owns. And I also made the point that currently we are struggling with a lot of youth employment. And if the court itself has established that Mr. Wontumi is the directing minds of all his businesses, it means it's very crucial to his businesses. So getting him away from his businesses in giving him such long sentence may negatively impact on the businesses and the young people who get jobs through his businesses and all that. They'll come onto the streets as unemployed, adding to the huge numbers who are already on the streets with no employment. So that was the appeal I made to the court, that the court should consider this particular circumstance of Mr. Wontumi and probably give him the barest minimum of sentence.
Fatau is still with me. Fatau, is this the only criminal case Chairman Wontumi is currently facing, or are there a number of prosecutions pending against him?
Ken, interestingly, apart from the Summer Boy illegal mining case, which has now come to conclusion, Chairman Wontumi is also standing trial in the Tanonomri illegal mining case, another high-profile, prosecution. And this particular case, Ken, at the moment is going through cross-examination. He's also facing charges in the alleged 30 million Exim Bank fraud case, where the parties are currently negotiating a plea agreement, and they are expected back in court on July 27 for further deliberations on this matter.
Well, thank you very much, Fatau Bayaga. He was a man on the ground in the court today, and the party insists that there has been no evidence to support the conviction of Chairman Wontumi. Stephen Mensah was at the NPP's headquarters, where the General Secretary had delivered the position of the party. He's joining me on Zoom right now with more. Stephen, more than 3 hours of meeting at the NPP headquarters. What was the decision of the party?
Well, Kenneth, the party has resolved to fully back Chairman Bernard Antwi-Boasiako, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, following his conviction by the High Court. And the resolution came after some key party figures held a crunch meeting, an emergency meeting some hours ago, and the meeting ended not too long ago. And these indicates that they have nothing but to support their member and their executive, that's Chairman Wontumi. And the outcome, what we noticed and what we came across when the meeting was ongoing was that the minority leader was present, and some other executives, including Richard Ahiapa and Henry Nana B, all present. And they indicate that the evidence by the prosecution does not amount to, and it's not complete enough for a conviction.
I assure all members of the New Patriotic Party and the good people of Ghana that Chairman Wontumi is not alone. There is no justification for the judgment, since the judge obviously ignored clear evidence exonerating Wontumi. The New Patriotic Party stands firmly with him. Our legal team has already commenced the necessary steps to challenge his judgment through the appellate process. The NPP considers Wontumi a political prisoner. The NPP considers Wontumi a political prisoner. The NPP, as a political party, considers Wontumi a political prisoner.
Interesting there. Stephen, it's been a very busy day at the headquarters of the opposition NPP. What is the situation at the party office now?
Well, currently, Kenneth, what we know will be that some of these executives are still in some meetings. I mentioned earlier, Afenyo Markin, that's the minority leader, he together with some of the party executives were in the meeting. But then what we understand and what we got so far, and from the interactions I've had with some of the executives, will be it's a position of some solidarity from the executives. And they argue that the case forms part of what they believe is a pattern of targeting opposition figures, while allegations involving individuals linked to the governing party have not received similar attention. In fact, they mentioned some names, including Yusuf, Yamin, Mohammed Yakubu, and the Member of Parliament for Awin. And they indicate that these members and these individuals are engaged in illegal mining. But then the government has not acted in the same manner at which they are acting on Chairman Wontumi.
Stephen Mensah there. He's a man on the ground at the headquarters of the opposition NPP. Thank you very much, Stephen. We've also been hearing from anti-illegal mining campaigners, coordinator of eco-conscious citizens. Awula Sewa says the landmark ruling must mark the beginning of a broader crackdown on the real financiers and kingpins behind galamsey.
But I want to say that I am pleased at the outcome. I'm pleased that Chairman Wontumi has been convicted. I'm pleased that all those who spoke out against the vandalism going on have been vindicated. So I think this is a step in the right direction. And we hope that other prosecutions are going to take place, because Chairman Wontumi is not the only high flyer engaged in destroying our environment and polluting our water bodies.
Right, that's quite an interesting one. So we understand that the New Patriotic Party is convening a meeting at 3 p.m. This afternoon. We do not have the details yet, but many are suggesting that they're going to back the Ashanti Regional Chairman. Let's look at the hypothetical case that is what happens. Do you think it risks our fight against illegal mining, where we have a political party openly backing their regional chairman, even though he's been found guilty by a court of competent jurisdiction?
Well, what I would say is that this shouldn't in any way undermine the fight if we are serious. Our legal system allows for appeals. So Chairman Wontumi's legal team, they are welcome to appeal right up to the Supreme Court, where the decision will be final. But I would say that any patriotic Ghanaian who realizes that we face an existential threat, that we are being poisoned, water is life. And it's very disappointing that when these points were raised, I remember the Catholic Bishops' Conference raised the point, and the then president sought to exonerate Chairman Wontumi. I think it's time we are all thinking of Ghana, putting Ghana first, and thinking of protecting Ghana. So I'm not at all concerned. The NPP is free to have as many meetings as they want to have. If they want to back somebody who the court has found guilty of destroying our forest reserves and poisoning our water bodies, so be it.
That is Awula Sewa there. She's the coordinator of Eco-Conscious Citizens. We've also been hearing from convener of the Ghana Coalition Against Illegal Mining, Kenneth, who says he would have preferred the Accra High Court imposed the maximum custodial sentence of 25 years.
I would have wished that the judge would have given the maximum sentence of 25 years and also added the maximum fine. The reason why we need to be drastic in the sentencing of kingpins who are involved in galamsey is that what they do is mass murder. They're economic saboteurs that ought to be punished. You know, there's several politically exposed persons who are involved in galamsey. There are DCs, MCs demonstrating either complicity or incompetence involved in galamsey. What is happening to all of these issues? So this is just the beginning. If we really are going to deal with galamsey decisively, then we need to make sure that a lot of big men who are marauding and parading the corridors of power, they are all candidates to also be, sentenced.
That is Ken Ashigbe there. He's the convener of the Ghana Coalition Against Illegal Mining. Let's go into the telephone lines right now and speak to Haruna Mohammed. He's the Deputy General Secretary of the opposition NPP. Martin Pebu is a private legal practitioner as well, joining the conversation. Gentlemen, grateful for your time this evening. Martin, I want to begin with you. From your assessment of the judgment, what do you make of it? Fair or not?
Oh, the judgment is very fair. Very fair. I was in court. I mean, not throughout the whole judgment, but I listened to at least more than half of it, and the judge was very sound. And the judgment has just come out, so we are now reading and not done. But having listened to more than half of it, listened to the main arguments, the judge was very fair. But this day was always coming. You see, the main thing is this: it's an open and shut case. The person who was given the opportunity or allowed to do the galamsey, Henry Okum, right, came to testify as the second prosecution witness. So, like we say, etc. If the frog comes to tell you that the denchem, they both come from the water, right? You are likely to believe it. So the Henry Okum, who did the galamsey, is saying that Chairman Wontumi gave him the land for galamsey, and that after that he should use to mine. They will say he gave him the land to mine. But once that wasn't authorized, it becomes galamsey. That's illegal mining, right? So that is it. So once the gentleman who did the actual mining operations is testifying against Wontumi, and once there is no evidence to discredit him as a pathological liar, etc., some motives, maybe they had a money fight, etc., and Wontumi couldn't adduce any evidence to discredit Henry Okum, then Wontumi was bound to be convicted. So this day was always coming, except that, usually you would wait for the judge to deliver judgment. We don't, now our system is grown that we are not allowed to start pronouncing judgment even before the judge has had the opportunity to do so. But Wontumi himself would have known that this day was always coming, that he would be convicted. Because once the distraction has been done, the Samurai Boy, the forest there, the distraction had been done. Pay for it. But I would say with a small voice, smaller than my usual voice, that the stiffness of the law is now hitting me hard. The minimum of 15 years, it's now hitting me hard. But let's see how it goes. And also, let's correct it. The judge couldn't have given 25 years. So when it's a Ghanaian national, the maximum then would be the 20. Yes, because I know that it's when it's a foreigner, you start from a minimum of 20. Yes, so the foreigners won't start as a minimum of 20. But so I don't know why we are asking for extra 25. Wontumi is a Ghanaian. Yeah. So that's what I have to say for now.
Martin, don't go yet. He is a private legal practitioner. As I mentioned earlier, Haruna Mohammed is the Deputy General Secretary of the opposition NPP. Haruna, I'll come back to you also for more on this. But in the meantime, though, Gemma, Appiah has the Newsnight headlines. Gemma, what's coming up?
So tonight's coalition against galamsey fiercely rejects government's claim that the era of impunity is over, as it raises questions about selective justice for some financiers and kingpins behind illegal mining in parts of the country.
Let me be clear. The era of impunity is over. Government will continue to pursue every individual, every financier, every criminal syndicate.
Details shortly. Also, Auditor General flags 94.6 million cedis in potential savings on Green Ghana project as audit uncovers procurement lapses. We have details as the reports say the Lands Ministry did not adequately plan for the effective implementation of the project with respect to budgeting and the identification of suitable planting sites. Time runs out for the NDC government appointee seeking party office as the party's 6-month resignation deadline expires, potentially ruling out several senior officials from December's national conference. We will bring you details shortly in business.
Well, Ulster Bank offered the lowest interest on raised loans to businesses for the month of May. A new Bank of Ghana report.
And also, low condom use and persistent stigma drive Ghana's new HIV infections to nearly 14,000, bringing the total number of people living with the virus to more than 337,000.
So the new infections is 80% usually sexual transmission, 15% is other blood and blood other related sources, and then other ones are drug users.
We bring you views on why some Ghanaians are hesitant about using condoms.
Don't like it because you won't feel the taste is in it, so you don't like the condom. For me, I haven't used condom before several years. I don't know how to use condom.
If you are using a condom and we feel like the skin is going to get into skin, so like we don't feel anything, sure.
And later on your say.
Well, ever heard of the saying, don't count your chickens before they are hatched? We tell you why a group that donated to flood victims is now making headlines after celebrating investment returns that may never have existed. Remember, you can always join the conversation and share your thoughts on all our stories on X with the hashtag Newsnight or by text or voice note via WhatsApp on 055 1111997. 055 1111997. Do keep them brief, straight to the point, and within 20 seconds.
Let's go back to our interviews on the galamsey issue involving Chairman Wontumi's conviction.
Exactly, and as I mentioned earlier, we have Haruna Mohammed, he's the Deputy General Secretary of the opposition NPP. Martin Pebu is also a private legal practitioner. He's also joining the conversation. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. Once again, Haruna, let me come back to you. Your party held the press conference earlier today, and you insist that there was no evidence to support the conviction of Chairman Wontumi. What findings of the trial judge do you say are legally unsustainable?
Thank you very much. I would like to say good evening to your cherished listeners and your viewers that is following you over the social media handles. Today is a very sad day. Today is a Black Monday. The justice system in our country and how politics has eroded the benefits of our democratic process has further sunk down, and it's very unfortunate that we are where we are today. We, as a political party, the NPP, considers Wontumi's conviction as political, and Wontumi will remain a political prisoner. And the party has instructed the legal counsel to appeal against this particular decision. We have indicated clearly that there was no evidence against Chairman Wontumi that Chairman Wontumi is engaged in galamsey. And that is a fact because Chairman Wontumi is a licensed operator. And the fact that there is that allegation of somebody using the land that belongs to Chairman Wontumi to operate does not necessarily means Chairman Wontumi was engaged in galamsey activities. The manner in which the court cases and the evidence that is adduced before the judge, we believe that the evidence was set aside and this judgment was delivered against Chairman Wontumi. And it's very unfortunate. We again questioned if the law indeed wants to be applied, is it applicable to certain category of Ghanaians? Because we have seen, and there are copies of petitions that have been sent to Iyoku pertaining to the national organizer of the NDC, the vice chairman of the NDC, also very openly an MP in the Ahafo Ano South East has been in this particular situation, and also the MP for Awin. Listening to your reporters from the field with respect to the issues of galamsey, he indicated clearly, Erastus indicated clearly that the damage that is being done at the Samir Boy is not even what they are talking about. There are places that is dangerously being affected. And His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, admitted in one of his addresses how his party people are engaged in galamsey and his own lamentations. So what is happening in this country? Is it that the law that is applicable to the people of Ghana is being applied on the opposition members of the party? Opposition members in Ghana? Is that how we apply the law? This is very unfortunate. I don't know whether these people in government today are thinking of the forward march of our democracy or they are thinking to stay in government forever. But certainly no, because power will change hands. And we are going to appeal against this particular decision and follow the due process.
Haruna, don't go yet. Martin Kebo is still with me. He's a private legal practitioner. Martin, the lawyers for Chairman Wontumi, and even just now, the Deputy General Secretary of the opposition NPP, Haruna Mohammed, has hinted of a possible appeal of this judgment. What are the strongest legal grounds available to Chairman Wontumi on appeal?
Say is that this one maybe I have a biased mind. It's difficult. It's difficult to really appreciate and come out with a strong ground of appeal for Wontumi. I think I've seen it as a one-way street that this one there is guilty as charged. I don't know. Maybe, lawyers, once I've not been engaged as his lawyer, my thinking cap is not in his direction. I don't see a glaring one, unless if I were, but I can never even be a lawyer on his side. No, because we had earlier on presented a petition against him. That's the second case, the Tanonimiri Forest case. Myself, Kenneth, Dr. Kwame Saponisiedu, and then Edem Sananu. Our petition has been pending since 2022. That was in the Kufuor administration. And it's because of Wontumi's political power, immense political power. The CID boss at the time, Fosina and Dokufi and Dampare, didn't do much about it because of the obvious political influence. So you see that because I'm not on Wontumi's side, I can't readily see what grounds of appeal I'll do for him. I mean, you said a strong one. You didn't say what grounds can be formulated, but you meant a strong one. So I'm looking at what can get him free. I don't see one.
I see. And can Chairman Wontumi obtain bail pending appeal? And what legal test will the Court of Appeal consider? Because many are saying that is a possibility.
Yes, it's a possibility in the books. Possibility in the books, meaning that the law expressly allows for bail pending appeal. But in practice, it's a higher threshold. It's easier to get bail in the trial court because of Article 19, Clause 2, that a person is innocent until disproven guilty. So at the beginning of a case, it's easier to get bail. That's how Wontumi himself has been on bail, etc., even from the CID days, all those things. But once convicted, to get bail, there has to be a very glaring mistake, manifestly bad. Or if it were a very short sentence, let's say maybe 6 months, or even sometimes even 1 year, then that one, the court to see that, hey, what if you win? So when it's a short sentence, the chances are high, or a very big mistake, glaring mistake. But so far from what the judge read today, and now that we are reading the judgment, I don't see one like that. So practically, no. Then sometimes ill health. That one, you can expect that Wontumi being a political big shot, in no time, you see the ill health issues will be projected, and that one could perhaps get him some space. That one, you can expect that when the person is a big man, then the illness, you get a lot of radio stations and newspapers to project that he will die tomorrow, this, that, and then that can get him some reprieve. So that's where he's likely to get a reprieve in terms of maybe they'll go and put him in Kolebu or any other hospital, which will be better than in Sawam. But to walk out freely, not what I heard today.
Martin, don't go yet. I still have Haruna Mohammed with me. Haruna, the court imposed a sentence within the statutory range of the offense. I want to find out from you, what is the party challenging? Are you challenging the conviction itself or the severity of the sentence or both?
We are challenging the entire case, the judgment, the entire judgment that we are challenging. We don't believe that the stand in which, or the evidence in which the judge has given the judgment can be able to stand the test of time. And this is allowed in our legal jurisprudence. Our legal team is looking at it clearly, and we studied the judgment and filed quickly the appeal at the appeals court. Listening to Lawyer Kwebu, I'm not surprised because Chairman Wontumi was jailed already outside before the judgment was delivered. And we are not surprised because this is something that has been orchestrated, and that is why we said that Wontumi has never been prosecuted. Wontumi has been persecuted, and this has manifested in today's judgment. We will continue to follow the case and ensure that our legal team will do the best of it to be able to get to the final conclusion of the matter. And I don't think that there is anything that is difficult at this particular moment. We think that there is travesty of justice, and we think that we need to appeal against it. And we have to also send a caution to the NDC that what they are doing today, if they don't take time, will permanently follow them. And that is what we want every Ghanaian to know. Chairman Wontumi is not a galamsey. Chairman Wontumi has proven beyond reasonable doubt in the courtroom, and I believe that this particular judgment should be set aside by the appeal courts.
Okay. Now that your Ashanti Regional Chairman is behind bars, I want to read sections of your party's constitution to you. Section 4A2 says a member shall be disqualified from holding any office or contesting any election in the party if he or she has been convicted and or sentenced by a court of competent jurisdiction in respect of A, high crime, high treason, or an offense involving the security of the state, dishonesty, fraud, or moral turpitude, or B, any offense punishable by death or by sentence of not less than 10 years, unless 10 years have elapsed after serving the sentence or the person has received a full pardon. We know that Chairman Wontumi also wants to contest for the national chairmanship of your party. One, will he be forced to step aside as the Ashanti Regional Chairman of your party? And will he be refused the right to contest as National Chairman of your party, per your own party constitution?
I've not heard the provision you are reading from. If you can give me the provision.
The provision is Section 4A2 of your amended constitution.
We have articles, so if you can go to the specific article for me.
So the section is Section 4A2 chapter. So there are sections. So there's Chapter 2,
We don't have sections.
Section
That's why I am
4.
We don't have sections. We
Chapter
have articles in
2,
our
Section 4. Haruna, do you hear me?
No, we deal with articles. We don't deal with chapter, and we don't deal with sections. So that's why I want to carefully listen to you and get the specific provision you are referring to.
Haruna, that is what I just read for you. I'm having your constitution, NPP party constitution, in front of me right now, Haruna.
You said you are reading Section 2. Our constitution doesn't have sections.
I'm saying Chapter 2, Section 4A2.
Still, we don't have chapters in our party constitution. We deal with articles, and then the specific article, you would have the various provisions following that. So if I can get the right quotation, article what, section what?
That is what I just read to you, Haruna.
No, I just want you to give me the number. I have to make reference. I don't want to speak to a matter that is not referenced in the party constitution. So give me the specific section, article what, clause what.
This is a file or an image or a document that I picked from your website, newpatrioticparty.org, stated that your party constitution, and I'm reading Chapter 2, which talks about membership. Section 3 talks about rights of a member. Section 4 talks about disqualification of a member. And it says that older constitutions referred to it as C, rights of a member, followed immediately by the disqualification provisions.
Ken, our party, the first article is not a chapter. Article 1 talks about party identification. This was the constitution we amended in July 2025. Article 1 talks about party identification. That's Article 1. Article 2 talks about aims and objectives. We don't have chapters in our party constitution. So for all sincerity, I want to get the actual quotation, which article and which clauses. Then I refer to it and speak to it as it is.
Haruna, the information available to me is what I just provided for you.
Then it means that we have to get you the right information so that you can quote appropriately.
So this is not in your party constitution, you say?
Our party constitution has no chapter, and you can quote me anywhere.
It's Article 4, Haruna. Article 4.
You are reading from Article 4.
Yes.
And Article 4 talks about disciplinary and grievance procedures. Is that a caption you have?
Disqualification.
No. Article 4 talks about disciplinary and grievance procedures.
Gyasi, is that Gyasi?
Yes, sir. I'm listening to you, Martin.
I think then you have an older version of the Constitution. That's all that I can see. So it means that they haven't updated their website.
Okay.
Because once you took it from the website, you have a point. But Haruna has a newer version that they've not uploaded. So it's their fault. It's not yours. Don't take it.
Okay, Haruna, proceed with your point.
You know very well that constitutions we don't deal with chapters. Even the older, we don't have chapters. So I cannot identify it as a document to speak to.
Yeah, so I'm saying that, but you haven't updated your website. So it's not Mr. Gyasi's fault. So let's get on with it. So after this, upload this current one that you are holding on your website. Because
I have not gone to that site to verify whether we have not. I haven't gone to that site. And I did not confirm because I would have confirmed with my phone, and I'm on my phone speaking to a credible media house.
Look, we can leave it at that. I mean,
Okay, Haruna, so there's no provision in your party constitution, even the newly amended one, that states that a member who is convicted of crime will have to recuse himself from a position that he is in. That's what you're saying?
For now, this is something that the party is appealing. It is the party that is taking this particular matter up. We believe that justice was not served. Persecution was what was the order of the day. So until we resolve and get to the bottom of the matter, I don't think that we consider a conviction now because we are appealing against that particular conviction.
Okay, don't go yet. I have the Deputy Director of IT and Elections of the governing NPP, Rashid Tanko Computer, on the line with me. Rashid, there's been a lot that has been happening, especially at the NPP's headquarters. Earlier today, the party said that the thing that has happened to Chairman Wontumi is a political witch hunt against the new patriotic party, and that they're going to appeal that. What does the NDC as a party make of this?
Let me say good evening to you and Senior Martin Pebu and my brother Alaji Haruna and all the people listening to your credible station across the globe. My brother, dismiss the NPP press conference with the contempt it deserves. Completely. Dismiss them. You shouldn't have allowed us to even talk about their press conference. We should be talking about the justice that has been served to the good people of Ghana, and then particularly those communities around Samaraboy. Look, go there and see the havoc this group of people have caused. Kidney cases has increased. Look, birth defaults. Go and see. Children are being born with defects. Currently, you go to Kwelebu, you see why the numbers are increasing, cases of dialysis and all that, increasing in Kwelebu. It's because of their activities. You are in Accra and you think that the activities of Wontumi and his likes are not going to affect you because it's somewhere Samaraboy. It's affecting the crops, plants, and everything that the farmers are cultivating over there. They use heavy metals like mercury and other things to extract these minerals. And they pollute the water bodies. Then they'll bring the food stuff to Accra here. That is the effect we are seeing here. And then people like that are punished, and a political party will come out and say certain things as if they are part and part. I'm not surprised. Look, at their time, was there not the people who say party here Sika? This party here Sika group mess up this country, mess up the forest cover. And thankfully enough, the judicials have now asserted their independence, and they are working to make sure that they support government quest to stop this galamsey action. And so we are all for it.
Right, Mr. Computer, but the argument the NPP makes is that as a party, first of all, they refute the allegation that Chairman Wontumi is engaging in galamsey. Second, they believe, like I mentioned earlier, that this is a mere political persecution against the Ashanti Regional Chairman. Now, in fact, they say that President John Mahama admitted that he believes that his own members are involved in galamsey. So the question they're asking if even President John Mahama has admitted that his own members are engaged in galamsey, why are we not going after them and going after an innocent man, according to the NPP?
Look, Wontumi, even under Nana Akufo-Addo, had it not because of His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, he would have been prosecuted at that time. Today, go to social media. There are footages of Nana Akufo-Addo defending Wontumi Akuntamai. If not because of immunity that the president, a former president enjoys when he leaves office, he would have been called in as a witness to this matter. Today, come and see the evidence therein. This thing that they are talking of, why were they not following Wontumi to court? Why didn't they provide legal counsel? The NPP. You see how hypocritical they are. Why didn't they provide legal counsel to Wontumi? The man was always going to court and battling himself. As you sit in your offices, you won't even mind. The man is prosecuted, and today you are talking of providing legal counsel. You are taking it up. It is propaganda they are doing. They know, they themselves, they know that had it not because of Nana Akufo-Addo, he would have been prosecuted under NPP regime.
Right, Tanko Computer, point well made. On the 17th of March, when President John Mahama met organized labor, he said, and I quote, illegal mining has eaten into the fabric of our society. And I must say that it is not only a menace to our society, but it has involved a circle of traditional rulers, political party appointees, and everything. And so I don't kid myself that we don't have our own people involved. That's the argument of the NPP. If the president has made this admission, why are people within your party not being prosecuted?
You see, when you say things like this, the president has made a statement. Do you know what is behind the scene?
Tell us.
Do you know what is behind the scene?
Tell us.
I'm telling you that you reported it. Was it not under the same our regime that our own party, government, referred our own party officers to be investigated on allegation of involving in illegal mining? Tell me 8 years under NPP. Which of their party official was investigated? Tell me. So if we in our government, we have that this thing, allegation has been made against officers of our party. The president did not stop those things. He did not ask that, don't investigate them because they are my party people. He did not hold press conference to tell the whole world that these my party people, I don't think they are involved in anything. The president has been quiet about the matter and asked that the state agency should do their work. Do you want the president to take guns and start chasing people around? But suffice that to say, what happened under Nana Akufo-Addo? Nana Akufo-Addo was in front of cameras and telling the whole world that, let me repeat, that Akunta mining is not involved in illegal mining. How can you become a spokesperson of an organization of that nature just because you was your party chairman in your stronghold in Ashanti region?
Right. Rashid Tanko Computer, thank you very much. He's the Deputy Director of IT and Elections with the governing NDC. Earlier, we heard from Haruna Mohammed, who's the Deputy General Secretary of the opposition NPP. We also heard from Martin Pebu, who is a private legal practitioner. Let's bring you more stories on this story. And Gemma, what do we have?
The coalition against galamsey is challenging the lands minister's claim that the era of impunity in the fight against illegal mining is over, insisting the situation on the ground contradicts government's assertion. Taking his turn at Government Accountability Series last week, Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa stressed that government will pursue every individual, financier and criminal syndicate destroying Ghana's forest and water bodies after giving a scorecard of the state's fight against illegal mining. Take a listen.
Let me be clear. The era of impunity is over. Government will continue to pursue every individual, every financier, every criminal syndicate that profits from the destruction of our environment. The law will be applied without fear nor favor. But this battle cannot be won by government alone. It is Ghana's fight. I call on all traditional leaders, religious leaders, miners, security officers, media houses, communities, citizens to stand on the side of our nation. As Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah once put it, the forces that unite us are intrinsic and greater than the superimposed influences that keep us apart on these very issues I've talked about today. The forces that unite us are intrinsic. Today, those forces must unite us to reject greed, reject complicity, and defend our national heritage. History will judge our generation by how we responded to this defining challenge.
But speaking at a review of the Lands and Natural Resources Minister's 2025 to 2026 Accountability Series presentations in Accra, convener of the coalition, Kenneth, said illegal miners continue to operate in forest reserves, wetlands, and along major river bodies despite ongoing enforcement efforts.
We completely disagree with the ministry's assertion in its own conclusion that the era of impunity is over. The evidence on the ground states otherwise. The eastern region, in the very shadow of the seat of government, continues to exhibit escalating lawlessness with no dedicated action to stop it. From Appiah Junction through to Enyinem Osino, the evidence of impunity is there for all to see. Is the perception of selective enforcement true? All involved in this illegality walk free, and we call on His Excellency the President to cause the arrest of all implicated in this disaster around the major national tourist asset. If Erastus Asari, a journalist, could unearth this illegality hiding next to the main Bekwa-Esiwa road, then the DC is either complicit or incompetent and should be brought to book by His Excellency the President, who made illegal mining as a KPI for all DCEs and MCs.
My colleague Evelyn Appiah was at the press conference and joins me in studio with more. Evelyn, beyond the concerns raised about illegal mining activities, what more did the coalition highlight about the institutions leading the fight against galamsey?
Well, Gemma, the coalition questioned the effectiveness of NIMOS. Ken Ashibe raised concerns over allegations of selective enforcement, and he called for investigations into claims that seized equipment is being returned to illegal miners. We can listen to him.
NIMOS has been active on the ground, and its record of over 2,000 operations is not in dispute. The question that must be asked, however, is whether that record reflects enforcement carried out without fear or favor. We have received reports from mining communities alleging a selective enforcement approach by some NIMOS staff. Far more troubling is the allegation that confiscated equipment is being returned to miners upon payment of a fee, with a motorbike owner reportedly paying $15,000 to reclaim his seized bikes. If this is true, it is shameful, and it's an affront to the integrity of NIMOS and to the very mandate it is set up to fulfill. We call on NIMOS to come clean on these allegations without delay.
So you heard Ken Ashigbe. He is the convener for illegal mining, or the convener of the group against illegal mining. He joins us via Zoom now with more. Ken Ashibe, welcome to News 9. You just spoke about selective enforcement in terms of the operations of NIMOS. What concrete evidence do you have to make this particular claim?
Well, thank you very much. Well, again, I think you should put the entire press conference also in perspective. We started the press conference by commending the current minister and the government for the actions taken to revoke EI 144, which protects the Achimota forest, and we believe that's a positive step. There's also the Attorney General's dropping of the case against Atronsu 5, which we believe it's also positive. The coalition is made up of various coalitions, and there are various reports that we get from the various mining communities about the issues of some, and again, the point should be made that some officers of NIMOS, carrying out this, and hope is that the NIMOS leadership would investigate all of these allegations that have come up, so that we do not allow any bad nuts, to destroy the work, that they are doing. And so that's that for the issues around NIMOS. But the challenge also, again, with the NIMOS issues is that you have so much arrests that have been made. Again, like as you are doing with
the arrest of and the prosecution of the Akuta mining directors. You are not seeing any kingpins being involved in any of these arrests that are being made. You are not seeing dealing with these kingpins. And as His Excellency the President said in 2024 October, that if we're going to deal with galamsey, then what we need to do is to deal with the kingpin. So our call is beyond what the Minister of Lands will do what he has to do. But there are several elements in this particular fight. And so when you hear his call to others to also do what they have to do, we as a coalition are responding to the call that he's done. But we're also asking, the Attorney General and then also the IGP and Director CID, the issues around prosecution of politically exposed persons and, listening to the conversation you had before this. We should make sure that we are not prosecuting Akuta mining because his government has gone out of power. We need to ensure that anybody who falls foul of, the crime of galamsey is punished. There's a name that has been mentioned by the minister for the Ashanti Regional Minister. I think it's a Richard Asante or it's Richard Antwi. It's missing. Erastus's report mentioned that he says the person was responsible for one of the sites, that have been reported to be carrying out illegal mining. We hope that all of these people, will be arrested.
Thank you very much. Kenneth Ashibe is the CEO of the Ghana Chamber of Mines and also the convener of the Coalition Against Illegal Mining. A Director of Communications for the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, Zambaga Rufai Samin, also joins us via Zoom. Welcome to News Nights. So you just heard Ken Ashibe talk about officers of NIMOS who are being selective in terms of the arrest and also the kingpins who are supposed to be prosecuted. We haven't seen anything yet.
Yes, thank you very much for having me on this show. Let me first of all acknowledge the role being played by my senior brother and his colleagues. The Media Coalition Against Galamsey is doing wonderfully well in terms of supporting government's determination in the fight against illegal mining in the country. But be as it may, let us also acknowledge the role being played by the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. If there is anyone, as indicated by Dr. Ken Ashibe himself, who indeed has been fighting relentlessly the issue of illegal mining menace in our country, it is the Lands and Natural Resources Minister, Honorable Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa. Since assuming office, the minister has not only been brute, but he's been active, proactive, and very productive. If you check the statement read by the coalition, you acknowledge that there is a portion, as they indicated, that that NIMOS, in an attempt to deal with the issue of galamsey.
As Zambaga, let me come in here. On July 15 last year, the AG directed Yoko to investigate members of your party, or Joseph Yamin and Abanga Yakubu, and we haven't heard any updates yet in terms of prosecution. And so if the coalition is raising concerns, and even the NPP raising concerns about the fact that you are just prosecuting people of the opposition and not members of your own government or party, what do you say to that?
So first of all, if the coalition is saying that the prosecution is one-sided, that is inaccurate. Crime has no color. Crime has no.
I just want your direct response to my question. Last year, the AG directed Iyoko to investigate 2 members of the NDC. What is the update on these investigations?
So, if you want my response to the question that you are asking, you just have to take your time and also listen to the position being espoused. I'm saying that, as acknowledged by Dr. Ken Ashibe himself, the efforts being made by the sector minister vis-a-vis the government in terms of dealing with the menace of illegal mining in the country has no political coloration. When they go to the field, either NIMOS, either Forestry Commission, or any of the institutions mandated to fight illegal mining, when they get to the field, they don't ask whether this person is an NDC or this person is an NPP, because crime has no coloration. Now, with regards to the specific allegation that was made that some of our national executives were involved in illegal mining activities, if you study the work being done by the ministry in collaboration with all these state agencies and institutions involved, any form of operations carried out, evidence is adduced and presented to the media. So you will know that if NIMOS carries out any operations in any part of the country, the facts, the work done is presented to the Ghanaian public. It is not enough for somebody to sit somewhere and mention names and say that these individuals are involved in illegal mining when they have not been caught at any operational site by any of these institutions mandated by law to deal with the situation as law required. And you,
Mr. Zambaga, you've still not answered my question. I only asked for an update on the investigations involving Joseph Yamin and Abanga Yakubu after the AG directed the Yoko to investigate those two over illegal mining allegations. You haven't answered my question.
So that is why I'm saying that I have to build the points so that you understand that.
Unfortunately, we do not have time. I just want you to go straight to the point.
These were mere allegations, and there hasn't been any facts established to the contrary. If you were there at the program when the minister made all these things clear, the minister stated emphatically that if there was any evidence supporting the allegations made, as indicated by His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama himself, nobody would have been excused or nobody, would have been shielded by either the ministry, government, or the state institutions or agencies that are working assiduously in the fight against the illegal mining menace in our country.
In fact, you are saying that you do not have evidence to show that these two were involved in illegal mining practices, and that's why you haven't prosecuted them yet. Thank you very much. Zambaga Rufai Samino is the Director of Communications for the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. Let's do business now.
Coming up in business, I'll be telling you more on Absa Bank actually offering the lowest interest rates on loans to businesses for the month of May in new Bank of Ghana report. And Bank of Ghana ends pre-financing arrangement for gold purchases by Gold Board. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials.
"30 years ago, MTN arrived in Ghana and everything changed. Now, to celebrate 30 years, we are giving back big time. The MTN at 30 promo is here. 9 Toyota Land Cruiser Prados to be won. Over 10 million Ghana cedis in rewards, plus so much more. Connect to your everyday hustle on MTN. Make video calls. Browse the internet for business with family and friends. Connect your home to MTN Fiber. Make that money move on Momo and stay ahead because every move counts. Ghana, let's celebrate 30 years of MTN with the MTN at 30 promo. Use more MTN services, build more points, and win big. Dial *530# or visit the My MTN app for more.
Who dey brush? We dey brush them. Who dey brush? We dey brush them. Brush your teeth. Brush your teeth every day and night. Slider jumps and tackle them. Price the gems away. England gem, we go price them. Croatia gem, we go price them. Panama gem, we go price them. We go.
Whatever the gems, brush them away with the new Pepsodent, now in limited edition World Cup packs. This advert is FDA approved.
Cast your mind back to 2022. The prices were rising. The stress was high. Every liter of fuel felt like a sacrifice. Do you remember who stepped forward first? When others were comfortable with high prices, Star Oil chose you. We cut our own profits so you could keep your AC on, keep your engines running, and keep your life moving without the heavy burden. We gave you room to breathe when things felt tight. Because of you, our star savers, we became #1. Today, the pumps are a battleground. Others are finally cutting prices because they have to. But Star Oil, we do it because we want to. Don't just chase a price, remember a friendship. We were there for you then, and with new innovations coming your way, we are here for you now. Star Oil, still quality and affordable fuels for all.
Introducing Ghana's leading pay-as-you-copy photocopier leasing company. Lease an A4, A3, heavy-duty or production machine and pay for only the copies made or design your own payment plan. Simple and tietia. That's not all. Incredibly, toners, repairs, maintenance, follow-me printing, centralized tracking all come free of charge. Remember, financial prudence is the name of the game. Folks, forget about the expensive gimmicks and be smart. Join the hundreds of satisfied clients across all the 16 regions and every sector of the economy and save over 60% of your printing costs. Visit us at www.valexlease.com or call 0244 644048. Be prudent and lease a copier. Terms and conditions apply. Valex Lease is a wholly owned Ghanaian company. Valex Lease, affordable document management solutions.
You know that feeling. A hospital bill that arrives out of nowhere. A diagnosis you weren't prepared for. A system that seems designed to confuse you and costs that keep climbing. And the stress of not knowing if you are protected. Eden isn't lost. Eden Care was created to give it back to you. Eden Care is health insurance made for everyday family life. With Eden Care, getting health care is easy and you are backed by a trusted insurance partner with years of experience. No confusing terms, just complete protection for your entire family. Step back into peace. Step into experience you can rely on. Reach out right now at 059-692-1844 and choose Eden Care today. Eden Care is brought to you by Acacia Health Insurance, a member of the Enterprise Group.
If you want quality, this be where you belong. Syntex, hey, tough, hey, strong. Oh, Ghana shout sing the song. When the sun they hot, Syntex no break when the rain they fall. Still no shake. Builders they choose and plumbers they prove. Any project you they start.
Sasso, every mosquito started run away.
Business on Newsnight. Now, Absa Bank offered the lowest interest rates on loans granted by commercial banks to businesses and corporates in May this year. This was captured in the latest annualized percentage rates released by the Bank of Ghana. There is more in this report.
Among the 23 banks assessed in May this year, based on data submitted by all commercial banks, Absa Bank recorded the lowest interest rate of 7.62% on loans to businesses and corporate with a repayment period of 1 year. For loans granted to businesses in May with a repayment period of up to 3 years, Absa Bank again offered the lowest interest rate with an annualized percentage rate of 9.78%. For loan facilities with repayment periods of up to 5 years, Ecobank emerged as the most competitive lender, offering the lowest APR of 13.36%. However, within the same category, some commercial banks charge interest rates of as much as 35%. According to the Bank of Ghana, the annualized percentage rate reflects the true cost of borrowing that businesses and other economic agents face when applying for and securing a loan facility. The APR comprised the Ghana reference rate, the bank-specific rate, the risk premium, and other bank-specific charges. The central bank, however, was quick to point out that the actual rate offered to a customer may differ from these indicative rates published by the Bank of Ghana, depending on the commercial bank's assessment of the specific borrower's circumstances. The central bank has also argued in the past that publishing these indicative lending rates could help promote competition among banks and ultimately contribute to reducing lending rates in the country.
And that is the Business Desk report. Now, the Bank of Ghana has announced that it has halted the pre-financing arrangement for Gold Board's gold purchases program. The move is expected to significantly alter domestic liquidity conditions and influence the country's monetary policy framework. The governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama, disclosed this during the opening remarks at the Monetary Policy Committee meeting today. According to him, the decision took effect from July 1, 2026.
The committee judged that strengthening the operational framework was at that moment a more appropriate response than adjusting the policy rate. A related development also falls within this review period, i.e. with effect from July 1st. The Bank of Ghana ceased pre-financing the Ghana Gold Board's gold purchases program through its auction arrangement. This represents an important change in the sources of domestic liquidity and will form part of our assessment this week. Over the course of this meeting, the committee will assess how those measures have affected liquidity conditions, monetary policy transmission, and broader macroeconomic outcomes, and what they imply for the policy stance the committee should adopt this week.
And that is Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Isiama. Now, telecoms giant MTN is expected to pay 40% more than any mobile operator and firm in the country. That is, if it decides to bid for the 5G spectrum license. The official notice accompanying the application for the license by the National Communications Authority was stated that this is due to the MTN's classification as a significant market player. One is not sure how this will affect the pricing of the service when MTN finally rolls it out. Still on MTN, it's promising that it says that it positioning its home as the next frontier for digital growth with renewed investment in fiber broadband infrastructure. Speaking of the price conversations, Chief Home Officer for MTN, Richard Champon, said the company's strategy goes beyond internet connectivity to building infrastructure that powers the country's digital future.
The commitment of $1 billion, it's a statement of belief in the Ghanaian economy and in the future of our country. Why do we really have to commit $1 billion? What does it mean for the everyday Ghanaian? It means that we're able to invest in the right infrastructure. For you to get internet connectivity in your home, there are a lot of things that goes in. This investment goes into ensuring that we are in the end delivering an experience that we call lived experience, where the real value that comes back to the customer is the ability to live their lives uninterrupted with a very reliable internet connectivity.
Time to do your lesson. Richard Champon is the Chief Home Officer at MTN Ghana, and that is all for business on Newsnight.
Thank you very much. Let's do other stories this evening. Now, the Auditor General has uncovered major procurement and implementation lapses in the Green Ghana project, revealing the country could have saved nearly 95 million cedis in the purchase of seedlings over the 2023-2024 planting seasons. The project was launched in 2021 as a flagship national reforestation program under the Kufuor government to combat deforestation, restore degraded landscapes, and increase Ghana's forest cover. Nearly 52 million trees were planted between 2021 and 2024 at a total cost of about 226 million cedis to the state. The audit further raised concerns over unpaid suppliers, weak project planning, and the inability of authorities to verify whether millions of distributed seedlings were actually planted. Data and research analyst here at Joy News, Anthony Menu, joins me in studio with more. Tony, what exactly did the Auditor General find?
Gemma, so for 2023 and 2024 planting exercise for the Green Ghana project, about 11.1 million seedlings were actually procured at an average cost of some 9 cedis, 50 pesos each from one, bringing the total expenditure between that period to 105 million Ghana cedis. But according to the AG, the same quantity could have been sourced from local seed producers who would have actually sold it to us for 1 cedi instead of the 9 cedis, 50 pesos, and that would have saved the nation some 95 million Ghana cedis.
I'm curious to find out if the ministry responded to the findings.
Yes, yeah, they actually did. So according to the ministry, this is due to some outstanding debts that they had with the local seed producers, which actually occurred 2 seasons before. That's the 2021 and then 2022. The ministry did not engage the local seed producers because the budget from the Ministry of Finance could not support how much they were actually, wanted to buy. Actually,
right. Thank you very much, Anthony Menu. Now, the deadline set by the NDC for government appointees seeking to contest positions at the party's National Congress has now elapsed. Under the party's directive, ministers, chief executive officers, metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives, and other affected government appointees were required to resign at least 6 clear months before filing nominations if they intended to seek party office. With no public resignations announced by affected national executives serving in government, the directive could significantly reshape the race for the party's December National Congress unless an ongoing court challenge changes the position. Joining me in studio is another research analyst, Jason Day, to break this down. Jason, when did the party announce this directive and what exactly did it say?
So the directive was announced on January 29 this year by the NDC General Secretary Fifi Kwete. He said that any person seeking to contest for a position who holds a government appointment by the president must resign at least 6 months before filing nominations. And the deadline for that was by June, and that deadline has now passed, Gemma.
Also, do we know the people who have been affected by this directive?
Yes, so we found that there are 9 different people who are affected by this directive, including these people are the Youth Minister, George Opariado, Gold Board Chief Executive, Sami Jemfi. We have the Youth Employment Agency Chief Executive, Malik Basantali. We have the National Youth Authority Chief Executive, Osman Ayarega, and Ruth Sedo, who is the National Service Authority Director General.
Thank you very much, Jason Day.
Let's talk about something very pertaining to our health, because the Ghana AIDS Commission says low condom use, blood transfusion, and high stigma are the reasons accounting for new infections in the country. Fresh details from the Commission show that more than 13,000 people were newly affected with HIV in 2025, bringing the total number of people living with the virus to over 300,000. The data also shows that Greater Accra region has the highest number of people living with HIV at more than 77,000. Earlier this year, we sampled views on why some section of Ghanaians are hesitant towards condom use, and here's what they say.
When having sex with your guy, it won't go well. Like,
it won't be nice. Like any day, mommy. Me say any day, mommy say me use a condom. Now I don't feel anything. Yeah, so I don't have to use it.
The youth don't like it because you won't feel the taste is in it, so you don't like the condom. Me, I haven't used condom before several years. Me, I don't know how to use condom.
This century, the men, they like it raw. They want to feel it. So
like if you are using a condom and we feel like I don't know, the skin is going to get into skin, so like we don't feel anything. Sure.
I know my koliwa, I know my koliwa.
Today we've stolen your time plenty, forgive us. But your say is up next, and Adam Kojo is in the studio. Adam, what are people saying?
Okay, so Angelo Kojo Fiabe says all average Ghanaians know a day like this will visit all individuals. I seriously don't know why human beings have become so greedy in getting money. Prophet Wisdom inside Agbozum says NPP will definitely seek a revenge since that's proven that the president of our land said that his own people are part of galamsey. Wontumi will be vindicated. Comrade Isaac Tamino in Chopper said the NPP General Secretary comment today is contradictory. While he claimed that Wontumi is saying a political prisoner, he also said that Wontumi is not alone in galamsey. NDC members are fully involved. Lincoln from Akweteman says, how can Chairman Wontumi be innocent in galamsey? We think Kaswa says, Peter Aruna, what did Chairman Wontumi do all this time when someone was using his supposed land for galamsey? Musa Abatwa in Asawasi says Chairman Wontumi was in court and appeared strong and healthy. Hopefully, there will be no unnecessary speculation about his health. Philip Abuchi in Keta says we should stop supporting wrongdoing in this country. So yes, Kenneth, these are some comments that have come in there.
Interesting there. And do you have some voice note for us?
Well, today we are tuning on because you used my time. But yeah, I have a special story for you, so let's listen.
Why is it Kanashi? I want to know.
Oh, good. So, you know what a Ponzi scheme is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, a new Ponzi scheme by name CWPC actually had been popular in the. And you know, a Ponzi scheme, those who enter first get money, and if you enter late, you lose your money. Well, some people entered late and they thought they were going to be millionaires, so they formed a union. And during the floods that just ended, they actually put their personal money together and made a grand donation to flood victims, thinking that
God bless them.
Yes, thinking that their investments will come from CPWC and then they would replenish whatever they do. Unfortunately, CPWC collapsed last Saturday, and so Sikana Ashe.
Sorry to them.
Yes, but Kenneth, remember last week, a week ago, Miracle was arrested, and we had a special voice note.
Ooh.
Yes, please. Let's just a few seconds. Well, Kenneth, Miracles Abuaji. Yeah, no. Well, Kenneth, Miracles Abuaji went to visit them last week, and when he came out, and this is what now her new sound is.
Wow, the daughter and father have reunited finally.
Finally,
we thank God. Well, thank you very much, Adam, for bringing us your say. That's it for Newsnight this evening. My name is Kenneth. Gyasi.
My name is Gemma Appiah.
Don't forget to do the 2 brush your teeth